What is everybody? Welcome to the Transparency Thursday night. Let's talk about what is new in the Luigi case. Where's Mario? CEO slang. December 4th was the slang. Today is the 12th. So it's been 8 days. Let's see what's good. Again, good evening, everybody. Here we go. Hello, hello, hello. You know, it's crazy because I was always told that it's so hard to get fingerprints off of cell phones and it's so hard to get DNA off of cell phones. And then to hear that if this cell phone that's the so-called burner phone that was left has like fingerprints on it and DNA, I will literally fall over if that's what this is from. Because every time I'm always like, okay, hey, for example, Brian Drake's phone was left at the murder scene. And I personally believe that Brian Drake was not the last person to use that phone in the slightest. And, but that phone should be tested. Oh, phones are the hardest things to get anything off of. And it's like, well, if Brian Drake has ever come into contact with somebody and their DNA happens to be on that phone, and they're a law enforcement officer, I would think that's pretty bad. Or if they're like a meth dealer, I would think that's pretty bad. Worth trying, right? But again, so here, let's check it out. Yo, 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 welcome, welcome. Hey, what is up, Kendra? Good to see you in here. So let's take a look. A couple things I want to the heck. Karen Reed had her hearing today with it was Dr. Russell. We watched the first half here. Pretty wild that they're even having to do this. I didn't get to see the second half. I plan on watching that second half tonight. So, again, good evening. Okay.
Nonfiction bestsellers list. Number 2. Safe to say that book would never have been anywhere near number 2 if it were not for Luigi Mangione. Those 3 words, delay, deny, defend, were almost identical to the ones found on shell casings near the crime scene. And on Yelp, the McDonald's, where he was apprehended, has been hit with a flood of 1-star reviews, calling the employees, quote, snitches and rats. Jason Carroll is out front.
This Ivy League hottie named Luigi is the Robin Hood that we never knew that we needed.
I listened to Luigi's manifesto this morning 3 times and I cried. Honestly, it's beautiful and I agree with him.
At least he left a very powerful message and he highlighted how terrible the healthcare system is in America. I think he'll go down as a hero in history.
He had been a named suspect for less than 48 hours, and yet within a fraction of that time, many in the world of social media had already made up their minds about Luigi Mangione.
I'm just eating it up because this is like regular everyday person becoming our hero, our vigilante.
These types of comments angering law enforcement.
Right there, that photo right there. That photo doesn't look like him to me, but that's the only one photo that gets me. This one right here is the really like, whatever. I tell you guys, I put it out there, that meme that had Burger King saying, we don't snitch. I thought that was priceless. So who are these TikTokers? Why are you putting them in your on your show?
And public officials.
I don't care your views about healthcare companies because I don't think they're great right now either. But you do not celebrate the assassination of another human being who was just doing his job.
I agree with that completely. Yeah, I agree with that completely.
But interest in Mangione just continues to grow. On X, before his arrest announcement, he had just 64 followers. Now, more than 320,000 and counting.
It's pretty sweet that Elon restored that X account because it went away, right? And then he brought it back.
His initial 827 followers on Instagram grew exponentially Monday as we watched. By 3 o'clock, more than 32,000. An hour later, 53,000. By 5 o'clock Monday, more than 71,000 followers before that account was suspended. Many of the comments calling for his freedom and calling him a hero.
Now, wouldn't she just like shit a brick if we're strolling here and like it's your handle comes across?
Hear me
there?
on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911.
Who is that person? Because they didn't call 911, right? They ended up not calling 911. They just called like how did this all play out? How come there hasn't been a fat check that's been cut to this person who turned him in? Yeah.
At McDonald's.
That McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where a worker spotted the 26-year-old eating and called 911 Monday.
Okay, workers didn't spot him. Somebody came, it was, and the guy has spoke out, and he said, I just think this is crazy.
Targeted by Mangione's supporters.
What am I going to do? I'm going to stop eating at McDonald's.
It got
I'm gonna stop eating it. Why? What?
so bad, Google had to remove reviews after that location was flooded with negative comments.
Are you
Someone
serious?
hung a banner above I-83 with the words "Deny, Defend, Oppose, Healthcare for All," a reference to bullet casings left at the crime scene.
Look at right there. That's blood. That's his blood.
Amazon pulled apparel and home goods featuring the phrase. Online, Mangione may be a folk hero to some, but offline and in person, no shortage of those condemning him.
Healthcare is a mess in this country, but to celebrate somebody's death is sickening.
The people in these higher positions, like CEOs, they need to look at themselves and their company and ask themselves, why are people so ready to condemn us? Why are they so willing to call someone who supposedly killed another human being a hero?
Well, some suspect support for Mangione is not all about rage against healthcare, but instead something far more subjective and superficial.
It's the halo effect, like manifesting in real society.
You really
I truly believe so. Like, people treat people who are attractive like way differently.
People are like giving him leeway with this because they are fantasizing him a little bit, but I don't think violence should ever be the answer, no matter the circumstance.
Who are these people that they're interviewing?
Aaron, this could just end up being one of those cases that just ends up capturing the attention of the American people for a period of time. I mean, you look at what's happening right now.
Do you think CNN's covering this because it happened in New York? You know, I think so. I think if this didn't happen in New York, CNN wouldn't be covering it. How about that? Just a thought. Okay, so let's do something like this. Let's see. We're going to talk about the fact that he was reported missing, okay? I want to talk about that. I think it's a really big thing. His mom's reports him missing November 18th, okay? And then he's supposedly in New York November 24th, there for 10 days, and then this happens. So he didn't spend Thanksgiving with his family. He hadn't heard from his family. His family hadn't heard from him, right? And has this ever happened?
Inmates at the maximum security state prison where accused assassin Luigi Mangione is being held yell out their support on live TV.
Free Luigi! Luigi's conditions suck!
The inmates had TVs tuned to News Nation's Ashley Banfield, who waved to them as her colleague was reporting right outside the prison.
Can I just ask the guys if they can hear me right now to answer yes or no very loud? Does Luigi have television in his single cell?
Wait. Are you guys kidding me right now? You guys, this is insane. So the mainstream media can poke fun at America and whoever they interview about why they would say that, they're praising this. Ashley Banfield has her guy go outside the prison and this is wild. You guys don't think so? I think this is look at them. If I did something like this, do you understand I would not have a channel on YouTube anymore? People would be like, oh, there's just no way.
Wow, this is quite something. This is the strangest interview I've ever conducted.
There you go.
We're learning that Luigi Mangione's mom.
She acts like this is the strangest interview that she's ever conducted. She did that. Like, ask them if they've ever heard. Like, she made it that way. It's just wild, man.
Was frantically searching for him in the days leading up to his alleged assassination of United Healthcare.
When I hear this broad's voice, I cannot stop but thinking about the nighttime worker was going through the surveillance cameras when she witnessed a white car speeding away. And then Nancy Grace come on. It's about the Idaho 4 case when the Inside Edition did that.
CEO Brian Thompson. Kathleen Mangione filed a missing persons report with San Francisco police on November 18th. The report says she last spoke to Luigi on July 1st, 2024, and that the online car sales company he worked for was permanently closed and the main number disconnected. Mangione had ghosted his family. His mom had not heard from him for 140 days. Even senior NYPD officers are shocked that
140 days? You guys, so get this straight. This girl that was supposed to go from Hawaii to New York, okay, she doesn't end up doing it. Her name is Hannah Kobayashi. Now she's just like fine with her family, by the way, chilling. After her dad just, jumped off a bridge or a parking garage or whatever, and everything's great over there, I guess, being sarcastic. But then here, she was supposed to go to New York. Her family thinks that, she's been abducted in drug trafficking or whatever they're talking about. And then here, Luigi, his family hadn't talked to him in 140 days. 140 days. And then just decided, okay, we're going to file a missing persons report for our son on the 130th day.
One in the wealthy Maryland clan contacted police after these surveillance photos were seen across America.
Where was the family? Where were all the other people? If you saw me, my mother saw me, my dad saw me, they were like, that's Kaz daughter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And could Mangione base a defense on the excruciating back pain he suffered? He had a spinal misalignment called spondylolisthesis.
Okay, so I will say this. Say that like a bunch of times. If your family had reported you missing, okay, and then you do catch the news and you see this, would you say, oh my God, that's Luigi? Okay. Or would you not even think in a million thousand years that this would be your kid because he would just never do something like that? Or, but when people want to say, how do you don't see a picture of him and not think that it's him? Well, I think that's very simple. I don't think that this picture right here looks like the guy with the smile. I would never think that that would be my kid if this is my kid right here. I would never think that that picture was my kid. I don't think that they look alike. I don't know if it's AI enhanced. I don't know, but it just doesn't look like him. Now, if you show me the cab photo and I get in on his eyes and his eyebrows, because he has like the cute little slanted eyes right here, that, I think that you would know your kid's eyes. But hey.
Which was made worse by a surfing accident. He sought help from a yoga master. Did he complain a lot about this back injury?
It was bad. He was right away. He told me, hey, I got a lower back injury, so I think it's definitely something, he didn't want to inflame. So it's serious.
Mangione had spinal fusion surgery last year, but CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta says the operation might have been botched.
The screws look like they are actually extend a little bit further than normal, but we don't have all the images to be able to tell.
And fans of the hit Peacock series Day of the Jackal are seeing eerie similarities between the lone elusive assassin played by Eddie Redmayne and the real-life CEO assassin. They wear similar clothes and use untraceable ghost guns made on 3D printers.
That is a work of art, guys.
Both also target business leaders.
All right, thoughts about that? We're just going down, Ooh. Yeah. Let's talk about some of the evidence against him. Oh, God. Is Luigi the right guy? Plastic surgeon's facial analysis. I definitely want to hear about this.
The right guy. As a facial plastic surgeon, I'll compare the suspect's features to that of Luigi Mangione's. Starting with his hair, we only have the eyebrows available for comparison. When it comes to the central area, some people have been bringing up the specific image comparison to show that it's impossible for this to be the same person. But when we take a closer look and we inspect the suspect's image and the width of the eyebrows, we see that they're actually much closer together than what the red brackets would suggest. And the image of him when he was detained shows thicker, fuller eyebrows to an extent, but remember that this is a different angle than that prior image. Now let's take a look at his eyes. The shape of his eyes is more of an almond type shape, and there's a distinct supratarsal crease. The suspect images show this supratarsal crease. One other distinct feature that Luigi has is when you look at his left eye, you can appreciate some degree of upper eyelid ptosis, which means that his left upper eyelid is slightly weaker than the one on his right. That causes the eye to appear slightly more closed than the right side. And while it is somewhat difficult to ascertain that exactly while looking at images of the suspect, when we look closely, we do see that there's slightly more hooding on the left side compared to the right. Now, when it comes to Luigi's nose, he has a fairly narrow bridge and he has a bulbous tip. And his nose is slightly upturned, or we call it more rotated in technical language. Now, looking at images of the suspect, we also see a more narrow bridge, a more bulbous tip, and a slight increased rotation to the nose as well. Now, in analyzing Luigi's lips, I'm noticing that his bottom lip is fuller than his top lip, and he has full upper tooth show when he smiles. And he has a moderate philtral length when he's at rest, but when he smiles, that philtrum gets quite short. And in looking at images of the suspect, I'm seeing similar qualities. The bottom lip is fuller than the top lip. When he smiles, that philtrum gets short and the upper teeth are quite visible. And he has near complete upper tooth show on smile. Now let's look at Luigi's jaw structure. Luigi has a strong chin and strong gonial angles, so he has a fairly prominent lower jaw structure. And his cheekbones are pronounced as well. Now, in looking at images of the suspect, again with the mask down, what I'm noticing is that the chin is still quite prominent and the gonial angles are strong as well, and there's a similar medial cheek bulge on smile compared to Luigi's images. Of course, we don't know yet who exactly unalived Brian Thompson. But from my analysis, it does look like the facial features of the suspect and Luigi are at least somewhat similar. There's been a lot of...
All right, there you go. What do you guys think? Is this your next hotspot? That's my next person I'm going to. Again, good evening, guys. Good evening. They say evidence is mounting, you guys. Let's see this evidence. We want to hear about the evidence. That's all I care about is the evidence. So evidence is mounting. Let's see.
After killing a healthcare CEO in Manhattan is fighting extradition to New York.
But it turns out there is a way for authorities to fight back. Eyewitness News reporter Marco Robles live here in studio with those details.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot more evidence coming out as well. Details on that in a moment. But first, the suspect, Luigi Mangione, still being held without bail in Pennsylvania, and he could be compelled to return to New York on what is called a governor's warrant. That process, though, it could happen quickly or take more than a month. As that process plays out, the evidence is really mounting. The first piece, now confirmed by police, will be critical for prosecutors. They say the bullet shell casings at the crime scene do match the gun found on Luigi Mangione. Additionally, police also say that Mangione's fingerprints were on a water bottle and a snack bar wrapper that he tossed away near the crime scene.
Out of here.
In terms
Get
of
out of here. Are you kidding me? Fingerprints on a wrapper? Get out of here. Shut the fuck up. Are these people, are they out of their minds? They want me to believe that a rapper had fingerprints on it. A rapper.
of the motive, police have recovered a notebook and a 3-page handwritten letter that mentions corporate greed and criticism of the U.S. healthcare system. Part of that disdain could be connected to his very own back injury last year, which led to numerous medical procedures. Despite all this, Mangione's lawyer is cautioning the public against prejudging the case.
If I were a prosecutor on this case, I'd be very concerned because there is a lot of outpouring of support and sympathy for Mr. Mangione.
This is not a one-person problem. This is a societal issue that we better figure out how to deal with.
The NYPD expressing concern that Mangione could be seen as a martyr. GoFundMe has repeatedly shut down a fundraiser seeking money for his defense. In the meantime, the 26.
I want to know why GoFundMe would be doing that. You know, but they don't shut down on any of these other people that are scamming. Okay, then I want Kobayashi's whole family to give back all the money. Okay?
6-year-old and his lawyer plan to fight extradition to New York to face these murder charges. New York Governor Kathy Hochul's office says that they have not yet.
If people want to donate to his defense team, okay, that doesn't mean you're condoning for killing anybody, for the record. Everybody deserves a defense so that your rights don't get violated. And everybody deserves the best defense.
Asked Pennsylvania for that warrant.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content.
Can't believe that they're. And if people want to put their money there, like, I'm sorry, but you have the right to do that. But whatever you want with your money, if you want to go light it on fire, wow. This is America. Like, what country do we live in? I'm gonna take away my GoFundMe. Why? What's the problem? Jeez. All right, I want to show this again. Because it just saw a little snippet of it.
With the inmates from over the chain link. Tell me about it, Alex.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable moment. And Ashley, I can tell you at this very moment, I can look over my left shoulder up at the top of this prison wall, see through a window and see that your face is right there. They're watching Banfield at this exact moment as they promised they would. All right, so let's backtrack a little bit, okay?
The prisoners are watching the news. Well, Banfield anyway.
So earlier today, I was reporting outside.
Look at her. She's waving to the prisoners. I love it.
This prison wall. So, oh my gosh. I'm not sure if you just heard that, Ashley. That was them screaming.
I just waved. Alex, I just waved. And that was
she's waving to the prisoners.
Can you hear that?
Hi, guys. Say hello to Alex Capriello.
They said, we got you, Alex. Ashley says hello.
I can't believe this.
There they are. I can't tell if you can hear this.
Oh, we can hear it.
There you go.
Hi, guys.
Look up at that window.
Let me yell them a question. Alex, hold on.
my
Let me yell a
God.
question. Guys, if you can hear me clearly,
Okay.
do you guys have any sights on Luigi Mangione? Just yell yes or no.
How is this legal?
I don't know if they're answering.
They're flickering the. They're saying no. Go ahead, ask
No,
another
they
one.
don't
They can
have
hear you.
sights. Okay.
Luigi's watching right now.
You'll have to translate, Alex.
They said Luigi's watching right now.
All right, so earlier today I was reporting outside these prison walls when all of a sudden I heard my name and I couldn't tell if they were, catcalling me or heckling me or even saying my name whatsoever. And so I started reporting on Luigi Mangione's prison conditions as I was finding them out. And as soon as the live shot was over, that's when I turned around and they said, the conditions suck. And so that was my confirmation. Oh my gosh, they're watching News Nation at that very moment. I pulled out my camera, I recorded, and here's more of that interaction. Take a look from earlier today.
Luigi's conditions suck. Free Luigi. Terrible.
You
Ashley,
guys,
they're going nuts in there right now watching this video.
you guys, this is crazy. So their windows can just be pulled. Like, hey, I'm just gonna open up my window tonight. Like, bullshit. They don't have windows that you can just open up like that. Who believes this shit? What's going on here? Do you think that this prison's gonna get calls like, what the fuck happened out there? Does anybody else? This is crazy. This is wild. But I have to vote for it. This would be like, this right now is probably the most underrated interview ever. I don't even know that answer. I don't know if they're the guards that are standing outside, watching the place, but they can't be possibly yelling from inside the prison through their prison windows. Like, their windows aren't open. How can their windows be open? Wouldn't we be having people just run? I don't know. This is crazy. I'm currently in this facility. I don't know. I think it's the workers. I think it's the workers.
Video on playback. This was just from a few hours ago, and here they are, 10 o'clock as promised. They said earlier today, tell Ashley Banfield that Luigi is watching at 10 o'clock. I mean, obviously, that's just a hard roast at this point because they're not near Luigi in any way, as confirmed by the Department of Corrections earlier today. But at the same time, they've picked a trusted news source to watch this very high-profile national case. Of course, they're watching us.
It's crazy. Hey, Alex, can I ask you a favor? Can I just ask the guys if they can hear me right now to answer yes or no very loud? Does Luigi have television in his single cell?
No.
They said no, right? Obviously, we have a little bit of a delay, but they're getting they're getting the questions and they're giving us the answers. So Luigi does not have. Wow, this is quite something. This is the strangest interview I've ever conducted.
You love it.
Me too, Ashley. According to the Department of Corrections, he's got his own solitary cell. It's not solitary confinement, but he's by himself. It's not dorm style. I'm not sure exactly what those guys got going on in terms of a living situation. It sounds like they're all clustered together. But as far as Luigi's accommodations, he's by himself. He's got a bed. He's got a chair. He's got a toilet, a sink. Again, he's not with the rest of these guys, but he's not in solitary confinement.
Okay. So I'm going to read out the menu and then I'm going to ask the guys if it was any good, the dinner tonight. So the breakfast was fruit, grits, bread, eggs, and coffee. He had the choice. The lunch was porcupine meatballs, potatoes, bread, and fruit. And tonight's dinner, mac and cheese, pasta bean casserole, and stewed tomatoes with broccoli. So, guys, was dinner good? Yes or no?
Terrible, they're saying.
I heard terrible. I heard terrible.
They're saying heck no. They're saying BS. They're saying terrible. They're saying that's not what they are
some
eating.
commissary.
Oh man. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
What do you think? What do you think of? Do you think she's gonna get in trouble for that? Do you think that all those people just got put in the hole? They're in the yard, most likely. The yard that late? I mean, how late do you think that was? When do you think that interview was? Looks pretty dark there. And that's the only thing I would think of. I don't think you get yard that late, do you? I don't know. You know, this is a max security prison. Max security prison, my titties. Oh shit. But hey, you know what? I will give it up for Ashley. Hey, I'm gonna do it until they tell me, hey, don't do that ever again. Okay, sounds good. You know what I mean? I don't know, probably Banfield's like, probably a lot of these people are like, I'm just gonna go create my own. I mean, Vinny just went and created his own YouTube channel. He's sitting at home doing lives. I mean, yeah, he still goes in and does whatever, but I wouldn't be surprised if Banfield's like, listen, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do. And if you don't like it, then I'm just gonna go do my own thing. So anyways, yeah. I'm just waiting here some like hard, like I want to see this preliminary hearing. I want to see if there is a preliminary hearing. There's a preliminary hearing that is set for December 23rd. What's his name? Guido, my boy Dickie. Dickie said he's going to be filing some motions. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Ashley's that type that would sneak a burner phone in with just her number programmed into it. Probably. Lana, do you think the next day LARP contest started? How do you think the next day LARP? How do I think it started? I have no idea how it started. No idea how it started, but probably because of Saturday Night Live. Everyone thinks they're funny. Why is he in a max security prison? Like, what's with these people not holding people in county jail? I don't get it. So I don't know. I think it's when everybody dressed up as him, you know. I think that he should be in county. I don't know. Yard is like till 8. Yeah. So, anything else that I wanted to cover tonight with just this mounting evidence? I don't know. So Luigi was charged with murder, then donations poured in. Yeah. Just so you guys know that the suspected CEO shooter was never a UHC client. Do you guys know that? I think this is important. Ready? So our shooter was never.
Joins us live with the very latest on where all this stands. Laura?
Hey, Blake, you know, that moment on Banfield last night has gone viral, as you can imagine, with over 10 million views currently on TikTok alone. Those inmates shouted back to News Nation that Luigi Mangione's conditions are not good and that the food is terrible on the inside. And new tonight, we've got this. Just off the presses, the courts in Pennsylvania have put this out. We have a filing for Luigi Mangione to appear in court on December 30th for a writ of habeas corpus and petition for imposition of bail. Now, Mangione's defense attorney has said he doesn't believe that there is probable cause to arrest him on murder charges right now, and reminding everyone he's only being held on forgery and gun charges. But if a grand jury here in New York determines probable cause, that the defense argument is out, which of course helps prosecutors get him here to this jurisdiction. Also new tonight, Blake, the AP is reporting that.
See, I just told you guys that with the whole, like, I want to see if this goes to a preliminary hearing, or keywords right there, grand jury, snatch it up and indict. I want this to go to a preliminary hearing. Okay. Next up right here, she's about to say it.
The NYPD chief of detectives telling NBC News that Luigi Mangione was never a client of United Healthcare. So that's
boom. That's huge. That's huge. Again, why Brian Thompson? Brian Thompson, United Health CEO. Okay. He knew where he was. You guys saw the latest video, right? That latest surveillance camera. You got Luigi coming from the opposite way, and then he crosses over the side of he crosses the middle of the street and then comes up from behind the SUV and then starts shooting. Okay. So yeah. So he was never a client of United. How did he know where Brian was staying? Brian was clearly the target. Okay.
It's interesting. And he may have targeted it because of its size and influence. The chief of detectives also revealing that investigators have now uncovered evidence that he had prior knowledge United Healthcare was holding its annual investor conference in New York City. We don't know what that evidence is. We are working to learn more about that and how many.
It's one thing to have prior knowledge that the conference was being held. It's totally different to have prior knowledge of where Brian was staying, because it wasn't at where the conference was held. If you went on United on December 3rd, they announced that like they had the meeting on the 4th at 8 in New York, but that was it.
Mangione reportedly dropped off the grid months before the murder. Remember, his mother reported him missing. Where was he? Who was he talking to, if anybody? So we're working on that. He remains jailed tonight in Pennsylvania, where who knows, he may have another exclusive if we've got a team out there again tonight. We'll see.
Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find News Nation.
Again, for me, it all comes back to, I'm fine with like if people knew where it was going to be at the Hilton, but to know where Brian Thompson was staying, he was not staying at the Hilton, and what time he would be walking out of his hotel room, that he would be, walking and not taking like a black car just around the block. I just, So if you guys have seen the video, right? When he comes across the street, and I mean, it's just wow. And he's coming from the opposite side of the street, and he's walking like towards if he was going to be walking like Brian's hotel. And then he crosses the street. He must have like seen Brian. Then he crosses the street. Brian is still walking, and then he comes. It's just like just crosses the street at the back of the SUV, and comes around, just pulls out the gun and shoots. So crazy. So he was not a United. Wow. All right. Well, that's about where I feel like good video, taking it all in. Yeah. I'll highlight this one. No coverage of UHC elites being cleared or show them begging for justice or describing how amazing BT was on mainstream media. They were all told to shut the fuck up. Their map is off. He never got on the map. He went across the street and through a building. Yeah. It'll be interesting. I think whoever did this was not acting alone. Whether it's him, whether it's, two people total, or whether it's, 10 people. I just don't think, and I just want to know who the mayor, what name the mayor got when he said, we have a name, but we're not going to release it because we don't want to play our hand. Okay. Well, that'll be in Luigi's discovery. Who's the person? Someone says, who's the black SUV parked with lights on? There was 2 SUVs that were parked with lights on. So Caroline says, I think there's a minimum of three persons involved. I like that. Who is he talking to on the phone? Yeah, I mean, if he ain't talking to his family, who's he talking to? If he's cut off ties with his friends as well, I mean, who was he talking to? No family, no friends that he's, he lost touch with. It could have been that dime piece from the hostel, So, best thing I heard today, Lana, was when you said, yeah, that mayor be too busy giving Diddy a golden key to the city. Yep, I said that. So the SUV starts to pull away, but then stops and the person gets away. Well, here, let's see if we can see the video. Is this the new video?
That's correct. We had a brief hearing yesterday, and there was one document, an arrest warrant from the state of New York, which merely referenced a statute. We've seen no evidence. That's one of the many reasons why we're challenging the extradition at this point, so we can see some evidence and get a little more detailed information about the charges against Luigi.
What about the gun? What about the writings?
Well, as I indicated yesterday, I have not been made aware of any evidence that links the gun that was found on his person to the crime. These are things that we're looking to see. And yesterday was fast a day. Today's another day. We're looking forward to beginning our inquiry as to what evidence may or may not be out there.
Gun looks exactly the same as the one that was used.
Well, I mean, a lot of guns look the same. I mean,
what a dumb fucking question.
It looks like that.
What an idiot.
I don't even know if that evidence would be admissible. And if so, I would.
The gun looks the same. Oh my God. What a great response. God, Dickie, just laying pipe up there. I love it.
But argue that it wouldn't be given much weight. That's why they do ballistic tests, ballistics examination, a test of all that to try to match that. Trust me, they're going to try to match that firearm to the incident by more than just, well, it looks like that.
What about the writings? These parasites had it coming, talking about the healthcare industry, corruption, and greed. That is all evidence, isn't it?
Wait, what?
Well, I mean, certainly
That's all evidence?
it could be. I haven't seen any of that yet.
Do they listen to the questions they ask this man? You haven't seen any evidence? No, I haven't seen anything. Well, what about all these reports that we're putting out there? Well, where are you getting your reports? You guys have way more information than me. Where are you getting these reports? If you have a report, send it my way. But you just reporting and saying that there's fingerprints on a wrapper, I'm going to tell you to, I don't know, wrap it up. What? Like, this is ridiculous.
One of the rules of evidence is there's a rule of completeness. So you have to take any writing or any document in its entirety, because some things can be taken out of context. So again, and these are exactly the things that I'm looking to get my hands on.
It's a very, very important thing. You can't just take, a 10-second clip and say, oh, look at this. This is what he said. No, why don't you play the first 2 minutes of that and the last 2 minutes with your 10 seconds? Then we got 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and then we'll talk about it. They're actually trying to do that with the Dr. Moore confession. And it's like, wait, you just want to play, we're not going to cherry pick shit here. No, come on. Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can get that maybe even as early as today. Again, I really can't comment on something that I haven't seen in its totality.
How about the fake ID? Same one used at the hostel.
I got a fake ID though.
Well, again, whether or not that's matched to that, these are things I need to find out. I need to examine things. People put out certain things and parts of the different things, but I think any lawyer involved in this situation would want to see it all.
Did Mangione tell you he didn't do it?
I would never reveal any conversation between my client. That would not be proper.
How do you even ask that question? That is client attorney privileged information. Whatever you and your client talk about, and this guy knows it. Like, you got some dick and balls to ask this man that. Like, where's your respect? How do you even ask that? Like, how does that even come out of your mouth? There's no respect there. I would never, ever interview with this cocksucker again.
Attorney-client privilege, and I cannot and would not ever comment on that.
Mr. Dickey, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're never getting an interview again. Ridiculous. I just can't. I can't watch. It just makes my blood boil. So ridiculous. Absolutely. I cannot. That was total, like, he has no respect for the person he just asked that question to. You don't do that. You don't do that. And he's not going to say it. So why are you asking? He's not going to answer that. Pathetic. All right, guys, that's enough right here. Even though, I could watch this stuff all day I want to do the map. I wanted to show where a little bit of the new footage. Oh, maybe this is it. Let me see if this one's it. Let's see. It's like right at the end or the beginning of one of the. It should be surfacing more. I just can't believe it's not. I don't know. I'll find the clip. We'll be back at it again, though. We got more Luigi in us. We'll be talking about Luigi tomorrow. Bring Mario. We'll play some Mario Kart. Keep going. I'm awake. I'm loving it. Same. Lana asking defense attorneys, did he confess to doing it when they already know that he's not guilty for the judge? I know. Unreal. Yeah. Now, it would be different if Luigi says, hey, yo, Dickie, I've been watching some of these interviews. And I want you to 100% tell these bastards that I'm innocent, you know, and then so he can come out and he can say it. Or Dickie could be like, no, I mean, I get that you want me to say that, but I just think it's in our best interest not to say anything. Or Dickie can say, I'm waiting to get the evidence, and then I'll let you know if I can let you look like a total fool. So absolutely, DL Briggs. Where did Luigi get the laptop he had when found at McDonald's? Who, you know, it's funny. I was talking to my dad yesterday. He's a cool dude. His name's Mario. So I was like, hey, Mario, did you hear about Luigi? And he said, who would still have that gun? Who would still have that gun? I said, thank you. Enough said. Who would still have that gun? Who would still have that gun? Nobody. Nobody would still have that gun. Who would still have that gun? Like, give me a break. Who would still have that gun? Think about like a little kid stealing, you know, candy from the store. And you don't want to, you know, people are chasing you because they want to find you with like this candy. You're not going to keep the candy on you. You're going to get rid of the candy, and like that's just a no-brainer. Or you're going to eat all the candy and, you know, get rid of the wrapper, right? Nobody would keep that gun. So they can sit here and say that that's the gun. You know, I believe that he did have a gun, but I don't believe that that's the gun. And you know what? If it is, like, there's something seriously wrong. Seriously wrong. And then all my dad wanted to tell me was, well, you know that Kennedy doesn't believe that Sirhan killed, you know, his brother. So why don't you go talk about that? I was like, all right, Dad, I'm going to bed. Talk to you later. So he wants him to get pardoned. Why don't you talk about that? So, all right, guys, on that note, peace out from Truth and Transparency. Over and out. Love everybody. Rocket. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, members. Thank you, lurkers. And most of all, thank you, subscribers. It is totally free to be a subscriber. You just have to hit the subscribe button. So go ahead and hit it, like it, and we'll see you back here for more of your Luigi lingo. Hopefully Ashley Banfield gets another interview with the inmates. She should just take her happy ass right up in there. I cheers her for that, though. You know, props for her. She definitely goes outside the box, so I give her props. Thank you, guys.